This game is just plain brilliance. An early Xbox 360 title, Dead Rising is a full-force, tongue-in-cheek take on the zombie-filled games and films that we all love, particularly of course the George Romero films, from Capcom, who made the Resident Evil series. The base setting? Oh, a small town in middle America has been quarantined off, and intrepid photojournalist Frank West, not to be confused with Fred West, that's like a really different guy, sets off into the madness by helicopter, landing atop the Willamette Mall to spend 3 days and nights documenting the crisis. As you guess from his job title, this game has a photography element that actually works pretty well, at least in my opinion. Outside of this, it's a pretty solid third-person action game with some pretty good RPG elements too, and the combat feels really good. Given the survival horrors of Capcom and the mall setting, our game world is filled with absolutely everything we can use to defend ourselves, ranging from guns, swords, chainsaws, and toy Mega Busters. Yeah, you know KG and Afun worked in this series, can't you tell? On top of the weapons, Frank can happily waltz into a clothes store and try on new duds. Part of the fun here is making Frank wear the most ridiculous thing he can find. This place gives the King of Prussia a run for its money on scale and variety. Speaking of the designer, kudos should be given for the sandbox nature of this game. Many games give the impression of freedom, the idea of being able to do what you want, but instead they kind of lock you into this pattern of missions and story. But not so with this game. You don't feel like doing the story? Don't! Spend your game 3 days running around slashing through everything. Speaking of story, in a nutshell, as already mentioned, the town has already been quarantined off due to zombies. Inside the mall hiding is a Professor Barnaby, who knows exactly what's going on. After him are two tight-lipped Homeland Security agents, and of course, trying to work it out is you, Frank West. I'm following the DHS agents here and keeping mum about what happens from here on out, because you owe it yourself to really play through this game and see how far you can get. And speaking of how far you can get, if you mess up partway through, chill out. You can still finish it 3 days, walk away with a bunch of unlocked progress, and just enjoy the damn game. I will let one thing slip though. It's not just the zombies that want you dead. Fuck those convicts. I will be honest about a few problems with the game though, and the first thing is the control setup. Since this was a game released in 2006, a lot of the standards that we have now in 2014 really weren't set yet, so it can be kind of jarring at first. Prime example, to enter the photography mode you have to hit the left trigger on the controller. And the right then is then used to raise the weapon to throw it, and then to use the weapon, or fire it, or throw it, or whatever, you have to hit X. It's not that hard to work out, since X is also used when you're standing to use your melee weapons, or even fire without aiming, but if you're not expecting it, or you're not used to it, it can throw you off. Also, certain scenes are just odd. Take this gem.
Zombies, huh? Had a feeling you'd show up. Oh, God, it's you. Look, don't sneak up on me.
Brad was attacked. I located him on the monitor. Ugh!
It's probably just a sprain.
I've gotta help Brad, or he's done for.
All right, fine. Give me your gun. Come on. I'm the reason you just got hurt. Let me help.
No, I can't let a civilian do that. That's against regulations.
Yeah, well, I don't think they had zombie-infested malls in mind when they wrote those regulations, kid.
You know how to use this?
Kinda. I've covered wars, you know. Look, after I'm through helping you, you and I are gonna have a nice little chat.
okay, I lied. That's actually fucking awesome, and apparently other people did think so too, because it's gone down as one of the most prevalent memes of this last generation. That aside though, it's a solid game and definitely worth your time, and considering you can pick it up for about £5 now, definitely worth your money. So then, what's your excuse? What do you mean you haven't played Dead Rising?